Hello everyone and welcome to another video by Centipede Geek. Today I'm going to talk about an ABC television series with the name of Mixology. I'm going to talk about episode 2 titled Live and Ron. So Mixology is pretty much, every episode seems like it's going to take place within this bar. And it's pretty much about the relationships that young people get in within this bar. And then each episode sort of gives a backstory to the main characters, but each episode focuses on two main characters and the relationships that they get into. But it also shows, what are the other. It's not only about those two characters. It also shows what the other characters are up to also. But it mainly focuses on the two characters and the relationship within the bar, all encompassing all in one night. And these two characters is the British character by the name of Ron, and then this other young girl by the name of Liv. And it's sort of, she's trying to, and I don't want to say too much, but it's a pretty simple episode in general. She's trying to ask, he keeps trying to ask her to get a drink with him. She's too nervous to do so, so she keeps telling him no. That's pretty much the general plot of the episode. And that's for the ABC television series by the name of Mixology, and for episode 2 titled Liv and Ron. Overall, 2 episodes in for the ABC television series with the name of Mixology, it's not too shabby. I'm not normally into shows like this where they're sort of, they have this sort of, it's a sort of sitcom fashion, but it's a little bit different than that. Each episode is roughly 30 minutes, that's including commercials, with the average running time of other television series is 45 minutes, unless you're watching like HBO or something where it's normally 58 minutes to an hour. And overall it's pretty solid. One of the things I do like about it is that it all takes place in one night. Every episode isn't happening at a different time. It's all in one night. So I think that makes it kind of interesting. All these things are happening on the exact same night. And I think the show does not a great job, but a pretty decent job at connecting events to, where you had Liv and Ron's character, and then you had, I forget the first two characters' name, but it still shows those other two characters in the first episode, and it shows what they're doing. He buys her a drink in this episode, so it still shows what they're doing and how their relationship is. He's trying to get other numbers, being the wingman. So it still shows those other three characters and shows what they're doing. And then it shows, the bartender. So even though this episode is mainly about Liv and Ron, the episode still does the series by the name of Mixology on the ABC channel still does a good job of showing what the other characters are doing also. I also think it's kind of interesting how each character has a backstory. They're not just, boring, bland characters. They're kind of a little bit interesting, actually, to be honest. Each character has their own backstory. Yes, it's kind of a goofy backstory. It's not a complex backstory or anything like that, but at least they have a backstory, right? At least they're not just throwing them out there, and just saying, hey, here you go. I did like the British character by the name of Ron. I don't know why I liked him, but I think he was probably, he was a pretty interesting character compared to the first two characters, where they were decent, but their backstory kind of made up for him. His character, actually, that was pretty interesting. Even without his backstory, he had one, but even if he didn't, he was still a pretty interesting character, I thought. Overall, a pretty solid episode, I thought. Like I said, I like how it all takes place in the bar. I like, the whole flashback scenes, and overall, there are moments that, this is mainly a sort of comedy-driven series, and honestly, none of it's really funny. I don't really find it funny. None of this, most of the scenes seem like they want you to laugh out loud. And I'll be honest, I'm not really laughing through any of the scenes. I'm not for sure if it's a bad thing. I just don't find any of it funny. I will say there are a few scenes that are amusing or maybe entertaining to watch, but none of it's really laugh out loud funny. I might chuckle a few times, but that's really about it. Now, that doesn't make the show a bad show. It just doesn't make me laugh, because in all honesty, I'm not real big on comedy, on these sitcom sort of comedies. There are some I like, examples of the Millers or the Crazy Ones, the Goldbergs, recent ones, stuff like that. Because I just started watching a few sitcoms recently. But besides that, I watched Enlisted, on the Fox channel. But besides that, that's all I'm really into. So I thought, I'd give Mixology a chance, and overall, I'm liking it so far. It's pretty solid. But I'm looking at it from a different angle. I'm looking at it from, I'm trying to find something else besides the humor. For me, at least, there needs to be something else besides the humor. And I think Mixology has a few little more interesting things in, such as, I guess you could say the way the show's set up, such as all taking place in one night and the backstories, and I think that makes up for the, I guess you could say, for the comedy-driven essence of the show. that's my review of the ABC television series by the name of Mixology, Episode 2, titled Liv and Ron. Once again, thanks for watching the video by Centipede Geek. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the page below. I'll see you guys later for more videos by Centipede Geek.